Thank you so much for having me.
It is, first of all, congratulations. You have a baby on the way.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Thank you. Yes. Procreation is underway.
It is underway,
Yeah.
and you presented at the Tonys on Sunday night.
I did.
And how was that? How was that experience?
You know, it was fun until I had to do the actual job of presenting, because I was sat backstage and they called me and I stood up and I went to go and do my little spiel, read the monitor and stuff. And this happens to me sometimes. Like, I'm still pretty active and I take my Soul Cycle class and everything, but occasionally I'll stand up and get profoundly winded. And this was one of those occasions. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have access to oxygen, like, at all. And I'm supposed to be reading in front of thousands of people, in fact, millions of people. So yeah, I eventually recovered and found my breath, but I couldn't stop and say sorry guys, I'm just really pregnant now.
Yeah.
I didn't want to detract from the nominees, It wasn't about me being pregnant in that second.
Well,
but
it's interesting because I was watching and I did not put the two together.
Well,
and I had a moment though
My
of
husband did. He was there and he was concerned because I've seen that happen to you sometimes when you go up and down our stairs, but
I wasn't concerned. I just thought, wow, Claire is so excited about this award. She's so...
I was.
Yeah.
But, hopefully excitement translates, in a slightly different way.
Do you think that your shortness of breath then was exacerbated by the fact that you then had to speak on television?
Maybe they had something to do with each other.
Yeah.
But, I've spoken on television before. I mean,
right, sure.
for a few years now.
Yeah.
So I think the pregnancy was the thing.
That was the main thing, yeah.
But yeah, so anyway. There are humbling moments.
Well, I also think that'll be a nice thing to tie back for your child years from now, that you can show them exactly what they did to you.
What this person has cost me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the list is long already.
Oh.
Not been born yet.
But just for you to be able to be like, don't make me show you the Tonys again. Go to your room.
Yeah. Oh.
You have a 5-year-old?
I do.
What is his reaction so far to the idea of an oncoming sibling?
I think he's keen.
Yep.
I mean, he's mostly enthusiastic. I mean, when we first told him I was pregnant, he said, that took a long time, Mom. That took a lot of days. I was like, okay, yeah, we've been working on it. So I guess he was into it. But then there was a little wobble, and then he was worried that I was going to love the baby more than him, and then anybody who walked through the door, I loved more than him, But he seems to have gotten through that too, and now he hugs my belly and
That's
kisses
really
it.
great.
It's sweet, but I think it's going to go up and down.
Yeah.
How's your baby with number 2?
Well, it's a different stage. Yours is 5 now.
Yeah,
so
he's
the 2-year-old doesn't, I don't think he quite understands jealousy yet as an emotion. But I think it's coming.
Yeah.
But mostly he just thinks he treats the 2-month-old like a joke. Every time you say, look, it's your baby, he's like,
well, yeah, I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah.
They're useless for a really long time.
And the second one is
really
useless.
Yeah.
Because the first one, at least, is interesting in the way, watching Planet Earth is interesting.
Right.
You're like, oh, wow, they do this and they do that. But now you're like, I don't want to watch that episode of Planet Earth again.
Yeah.
So he's great, but you kind of are, I still feel like it's a preview to a movie I eventually will want to see.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm prepared.
So this movie is adapted from a play that I saw back in New York when it was here, and it's about parents trying to get, for those who couldn't tell from the clip, their kid into school. Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's parents who are trying to get their 4.5-year-old kid into school. It's 4.5 kid happens to love wearing dresses and is sort of obsessed with all things princess, and it's becoming clear that maybe he's not conforming to these strict gender norms, and he's gender fluid, expansive. The language is intense right now. But yeah, so so they have a friend who's an educator, and as they're applying to schools, suggests that maybe they make more of this fact rather than less, and suddenly they're just thinking of him in these different terms, and I don't know, they become kind of anxious that he's going to be labeled by society, and it's called A Kid Like Jake, but the emphasis isn't so much on the kid, it's really the parents and just this crisis that they spiral into, But ultimately, I mean, it's really just kind of a portrait of a marriage and a family, and it's about parents just trying to figure out the best way to understand who their child is and help them navigate their way through the world. And so I think in some ways it's really specific, and it's about this very topical idea of gender identity in politics. But it's also just about, you know, releasing your children into the world and trusting that they're going to be fine.
Yeah.